This is a 1920 Ford open chain Boyer Model TT rotary gear pumper. It was sold by Buffalo Chemical Fire Extinguisher Company, who is a distributor for open chain Boyer, to the village of Chittenango, New York for $3,380.18. Buffalo delivered the truck on March 28, 1921. It was removed from service in 1950. Chester Ferris purchased the truck in 1959 and contacted Hale Pump. Hale Vice President Charles Young stated, "As far as I am concerned, you have a real antique motor fire engine." Hale was the first company to design a pump for the Model T Ford. This is a 1922 Armleder Model 30. Armleder trucks were produced from 1910 to 1936. During the 20s, they were offered in sizes from 1 ton to 3.5 tons, with either a Boda, Continental, or Hercules engine. The Model 30 shown here has a 25.6 horsepower 4-cylinder Hercules ox engine, a 4-speed transmission, and a hand-cranked dump box. Here we have a 1923 Ford Model TT Hearse. The owners built this in 2009 on a Ford Model TT chassis, using the Ertl die-cast as a pattern to scale the cab and body. It includes actual Hearse hardware in the bed. It will accommodate a regular width casket, but not the oversized width. It was in attendance for a number of years at the Midwest Old Settlers and Threshers Reunion in Mount Pleasant, Iowa, and also attended the ATHS show in Des Moines. This fire truck was made by Wilmington, Delaware-based US Fire Apparatus Company. From 1910 until the 1920s, the company built their fire trucks on commercial chassis. In the 1920s, the company started building their own truck from the ground up. My 1924 is a Model A, serial number 1001. It is possibly the first truck the company built from scratch. The company continued to build their own truck until about 1937, when they started building fire trucks on the autocar chassis. This is a 1925 Ford Model T Fire Chief's buggy. It was originally delivered as a touring car and was restored as a runabout. The car was destroyed in a cabinet shop fire and was restored in 1998 by Marty Scott as a fire chief's buggy. We purchased the fire chief's buggy in 2007 and changed the lettering to Naval Powder Factory, the forerunner to the Naval Propellant Plant, Indian Head, Maryland, where I began my paid fire service career in 1960. This is a 1925 white Model 1545. The Yellowstone Transportation Company began using white buses in 1917. On March 30th, 1925, Yellowstone Transportation Company's bus barn burned to the ground. They called the White Motor Company and ordered 90 of the 1545 buses. They were 11-seaters with a 50-horsepower, 4-cylinder engine and a 4-speed transmission. White managed to deliver them in time for the busy tourist season ahead. 1925 was the only year that the 1545 bus was produced. This is a 1926 Corbett Model 26. The truck was designed for the U.S. government for the Hospital of the Insane in Washington, D.C. The Corbett Preservation Society bought the truck from a museum that was closing in eastern Maryland some years ago and has been working on restoration ever since. It is a work in progress even to this day. The club repowered it with a small Chevy engine and a 3-speed automatic so that we could use it in parades and such. We have the original engine, and maybe one day we can restore it too. Now we have a 1926 Ford Model TT. The Ford Model TT was built from 1917 to 1927. From 1917 to 1923, the truck was sold as a chassis only. In 1924, they were available with a factory-produced body. They were built with a heavier frame and rear axle, which gave it a 1-ton rating. 1926 was the first year that Ford used sheet metal for the cab. It has a 20-horsepower engine, and it was recommended that you not go over 15 miles per hour. This is a 1927 International SL34. This truck is one of only 4 known to still survive worldwide, with only 1,762 ever built. The truck was fully restored in 2012 with all the work done in a shed at my home by my son Ross and myself. It has a Lycoming 4-cylinder motor with a 3-speed crash box. Top speed is about 32 miles per hour, and we have done 1,700 miles on it since restored. Loved getting out and enjoying the countryside at a leisurely pace. This is a 1928 Chevrolet Capital 1-ton truck. I finished the total restoration and painted the truck in 1976, which took 7 years to complete. The original combination 100 bushel grain and livestock box was made by the Knapheide Company of Quincy, Illinois. I rebuilt the bed with only the lower sideboards. I still have the original upper sideboards and stock racks. They still have the original green paint and yellow pinstriping on them. I purchased the truck from the original owner in 1963 and am the second owner of the truck. The truck was last used on the original owner's small dairy farm in 1946 and had a blown engine. This is a 1928 REO Speedwagon. The Speedwagon was first introduced in 1915 and was produced until 1953. In 1928, it was the lowest priced truck in its class. The above Speedwagon is powered by a 61 horsepower Continental engine and has a 4-speed transmission and is equipped with hydraulic brakes. This is a 1929 Ford Model AA. In 1900, Henry Ford built his first delivery wagon. It wasn't until 1905 that he began regularly producing commercial trucks. The pictured 1.5-ton Model AA has a 40 horsepower 6-cylinder engine and a 3-speed transmission. The gravel box on the back is a rocker box. When you were ready to dump, you would release the lever, drive backwards, and hit the brakes, causing the box to rock and dump. This is a 1929 Ford Model A Snowmobile. It was originally purchased in Winnipeg. This 1929 Ford Model A Snowmobile conversion saw extensive use for many years in the Old Wives Lake District by Louis Lemont. It served as a school bus, emergency doctor transport, and many other winter tasks. Most of the conversions only had 2 rear wheels on each side. This one is rare because it uses 3 on each side. The front wheels can be removed and replaced with skis for winter travel. The wheels were used for the other 3 seasons. Now we have a 1929 white Model 53. It was purchased new by the state of Connecticut, and this truck was originally equipped with a winch and a derrick and was used to install telephone poles. Later, the state removed the winch and derrick and installed a steam boiler on it to heat tar for road repair. My father purchased the white from the state in 1947 and used it to sterilize tobacco beds in the Connecticut area. Currently, it runs well and drives well, but it is in need of a vacuum booster brake unit. This is a 1920 Corbett Model B. The family in the video, which was taken in 2018 in Lexington, Kentucky, is Jerry and Cynthia Capps.